You guys ready? No, I'm not either. Here we go. We're gonna have... Oh, wait a sec. There we go. We're gonna have a surprise commentator dropping by my house in a little bit. My brother's gonna come over. And he has no idea what this game is. But I'm gonna quickly go into a little bit of a description of what you're gonna see here. This is a low optimized segmented demonstration of Majora's Mask 3D. And you're gonna notice that I labeled it as 4 equips instead of 4 pauses. And that's just kind of the semantics of everything. You know, and so we're not necessarily tracking how many times I pause the game, but we're tracking the number of equips that we perform. There are a few inputs that could technically pause the game. For example, pressing the item or mask subscreen will pause the game and bring up the inventory menu, where you have the opportunity to switch equipped items around. Another way to pause the game is to bring up the Bomber's Notebook by pressing the start button. From here you can track events and set alarms, but you don't have the ability to re-equip items or masks. The third pause I need to cover is called a home buffer. Home buffers are used in 2 ways. The first is to advance the game frame by frame, which makes performing certain tricks easier for human input. The second is to exit the game. There is no save and quit necessarily in Majora's Mask 3D, so the home menu is used to close the program. For the sake of this demonstration, the only pauses that we are counting are any pauses that allow us to equip items or masks. The best way to think of this demonstration is a test and equipping efficiency. So basically getting as much done with as few items and masks as possible. Another thing to point out is that this is not a TAS. Unfortunately, we don't have TAS tools for 3DS. So the best way to record demonstrations like this, which are, you know, extremely tricky and involve, you know, pretty hard tricks to perform, is to record demonstrations like this, or to segment them and splice the footage together. Thanks for the host. I need to find a way to get rid of that notification sound. So one thing we're going to point out here right away is that the footage is spliced. I'm not trying to hide that at all. You know, this is just going to be a demonstration, not really a speed run. So we're not going to have any timers or anything going like that. I'm not claiming any time or anything like that. I don't know how to turn those off. Another thing I'm going to point out here, guys, right away, is that there are a few places where I spliced the run, and some of them are very obvious. Most of the time is because I messed up a trick, and instead of leaving footage of me messing something up over and over again, I usually just splice the footage to where I was successful with some of these tricks. Usually you'll see those splices when I save at owl statues. And it is pretty obvious where I splice the footage. Another reason for splicing is because there are portions of this run where I do a lot of backtracking, or simply just like waiting for a day or night transition where I'm not really doing anything. So instead of leaving in uninteresting footage where Link is just standing around doing nothing, I splice the footage to make it a bit more interesting and take out some of the boring segments. By taking out some of just the waiting around, or some of the just tedious backtracking, I was able to bring this footage down about 45 minutes or so. So, in this route here, there's about 45 minutes. Well, there's some times where you don't have this on double time. And you'll see why in a little bit. Another thing to point out is, this isn't the most efficient route. There are things I could have done that would have been more efficient in terms of the routing of the game. But I did try to make it pretty interesting. I'm showing off some glitches that you won't see in speedruns nowadays. I'm showing off, yeah. I'm also showing off some techniques that you've probably never seen before. Another thing to keep in mind, this is my first time ever making something like this. This is my first attempt at making a low optimized segment as a demonstration. I actually have a few other things in the works, and someone had mentioned earlier that they haven't seen me streaming in a while. It's not that I haven't been playing games, it's actually that I've been working on some pretty big projects, actually. Hey, what's up, Naruto? So start of the run, pretty normal so far. Not much you can really do at this point here. Don't know if it's gonna happen or not. So the start of the run is pretty normal, just, how long is this? It's gonna be about 2.5 hours. Oh, they're raiding Marco.
Wow, that's trigger. Damn, 6,000.
Alrighty, we didn't get the ZFG host, but that's alright. So you're gonna notice here that, I only do a day transition. Instead of going to third cycle, or third day, I only go to second day. You'll see why later on here. So actually in this first cycle here, we're going to have a trick that you really don't see in any Majora's Mask 3D speedruns. And this is where you're going to see the first major splice. Where's the key to commentary? Hey gamers. So we got some time to kill here, and I'm going to splice off most of this here. But I want to take a moment to have Deku Link dance with the two sisters here. So, some normal things here. We're gonna get the fairy. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I got mad that I missed it. Missed the fairy on the first flower shoot. So the Great Fairy is going to give us magic. Yes, my YouTube channel name is now Great Jemima 3D. I think it's always been Great Jemima 3D? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't even know, I'm not really too concerned with YouTube. Oh, was it? It might just be Great Jemima then. So this is going to be the first major splice that you can see in the run here. I actually have a really bad one after this that I'm not really too happy with, but I can't, yeah, like I said, I'm new to this. But here's a big splice, you know, just going from afternoon. All I did there, you didn't really miss anything, you just missed me kind of backwalking there. So this is one way to do a day transition, or to do a Clocktown early escape. And like I said before, we're not counting home buffers as pauses. The only thing that we're counting are going to be equips. And if this was a task, it would be totally possible to do this without having to do home buffers, but since I actually have to do human inputs, I need to slow down the frame rate somehow in order to get this Clocktown early escape. So that's why we don't really count home buffers. So basically the way that works is, on a day transition, the guard respawns right in the middle. And I'll explain this splice here in a second. The guard respawns back in the middle. And Deku Link does not have enough momentum to get past the guard. But if you do a precise side hop at the perfect frame, you can get past him and get into Clocktown in first cycle. Now, you saw a bad split there. I do apologize for that. Like I said, this is my first time doing video editing. There's not going to be anything nearly that bad again in the run here. All that you missed was I kind of walked around Clocktown and got 99 rupees, kind of explored a little bit. Clocktown first cycle, a few things I want to point out here is, first you'll see that I went into this area here with Deku Link, and on first cycle, none of the actors in Termina Field are loaded. And that includes the cutscene, the flowers on the ground. Yeah, thank you for the follow. Tomato, tomato, tomato. Oh, excuse me, Termina Field, yeah. And that includes the Skull Kid cutscene. You'll also notice earlier that I got the Milk Road Owl. I just used that for routing later on. There's going to be another splice coming up here. It's just me waiting around. Don't think I got a ZFG raid. I wish I got a ZFG raid, that'd be pretty cool. So I don't have the Ocarina yet, but I can still get the Song of Soaring as Deku Link. In first cycle. Going to this statue here, it's a side ZFG raid. I'm not sure what a side raid is. So no, this is not any well, technically it's 90%, but this is 4 equips. Oh, sweet. No, that's pretty cool, actually. Thank you, ZFG, for the side raid. So yeah, another splice right here. All that you really missed was me standing around. Interesting thing here, if you die. Well, ZFG, if you are watching, or if you're here, thank you so much for the side raid. I really appreciate that. ZFG Senpai noticed me. That's awesome. Yes. And the way that we got there was... Why did I not just go back to Clocktown? I just wanted to show off the death warp here. So if you die after that cutscene, it will warp you right back to Clocktown. Now, I could have just walked back there, it would have been probably more efficient and faster. But this is kind of just a... What's my Discord name? Great Jamama 3D. Oh, sweet, here comes our guest commentator. Everyone, my brother is here. He has never played Majora's Mask 3D before. But okay, yes, the rules for equip. It's not for pause, it's for equips. And the reason why we label it as for equips, I kind of have this written down here. We're not necessarily tracking. I don't have a Discord going on right now for the commentary. It's just me right here with my brother. Hello. So we're not necessarily tracking how many pauses we have in the game, we're actually tracking how many equips we have in the game. So what we count as an equip would be anytime that you bring up the item subscreen or the mask subscreen. So basically the way that we really need to think about this is a demonstration in efficiency of our equips. Because unfortunately this isn't a task, and to do some frame perfect inputs, I do need to actually do some home buffering. Which is technically pausing the game, however, just doing this without a task, which we don't have for 3DS. I do need to do some home buffers just to get some frame perfect inputs. Pause buffer percent, yeah.
So does pause buffering work similarly on the Majora's Mask to how it does, or in 3D to how it does in regular Ocarina of Time?
Very similar, yes.
Okay.
It's incredibly easy to pause buffer and pick out frames individually in Majora's Mask 3D, or at least if you have a new Nintendo 3DS XL. I'm not sure how well it works for other versions of the 3DS. Does he know things about Ocarina of Time 3D? He's seen me do a few things in there.
I know some things, you know, I know more about the original N64 games than I do about the 3D version. So that's something I know more about. But, you know, Bob's been telling me about some of these different things, and I've seen some of the different things he's been working on. I'm just really excited to see this. I didn't get to see this recording ahead of time. This is the first time I'm seeing it too.
Yeah, so this is actually this is going to be the first time that anyone other than myself has seen this recording here. So we just saw first cycle, it was a little bit different there. We had to do Clocktown Early Escape. There is a way to do a Clocktown Early Escape that's a little bit faster, that you might see in the any % speedrun, where they use a bomb and a flower to get out of Clocktown early. But that would require an equip, and that is an equip that we just cannot afford in this run. So in normal casual gameplay, after this cutscene here, you would go back into Clock Tower to get Song of Healing and the Deku Mask, but we actually have a few more things that we need to accomplish before we can do that. This time I don't actually have to do another Clocktown Early Escape. When we first did the Clocktown Early Escape, we got Sun Soaring, and we got the Milk Road Owl and the Southern Swamp Owl. So first thing I'm going to do, Inverted Song of Time, just give me a little bit of cushioning here. One thing I'm going to point out here is my brother and I don't actually have any audio. It would just kind of mess up with recording here.
Yeah, you never want your audio playing right next to your microphone, because then what you're saying will play back from the speaker, and that's how you get that high-pitched whiny noise. It's just not good.
Yeah. So you're going to see some more splices here. This is the hardest part of this recording. This took me 2 weeks to record. About a week and a half of it was doing this segment right here. So you're going to see some pretty noticeable splices here. You know, first one is right when I leave Milk Road here. Just kind of watch the timer at the bottom there. I don't like pointing out my splices, but yeah, they're just kind of necessary. We don't have tasks, so this is the best way to do it. And obviously, the reason why you have that splice there is just for messing up this next trick. So, interesting trick right here. This is what I call a bloom zoom.
I like that name.
Yeah, some people call it a flower slide. I like bloom zoom. Pretty interesting here. You're gonna see another quick splice here.
Very nice. I like it.
What you do, essentially, is you shield recoil damage, and then you dive into a flower at the same time, and that lets you get into... you kind of just take it off running there underneath the ground, which lets you get underneath that fence into Great Bay Coast early. Now, what you guys might be thinking here is, I don't have anything equipped. I'm just coming in here as Deku Link. And if you think that I'm going to get the Zora mask as Deku Link, you're very much mistaken. That is impossible.
Huh. So what are you gonna do here? That's what I want to know.
Well, glad you asked. We need to get an owl statue in here. Now, the first owl statue in Great Bay is the one by the Marine Lakeside Laboratory. That one would be impossible to reach. There is the Zora Cape Owl, which is just barely reachable. And this is the portion of this segment that took the longest to record. I think I put in maybe 40 hours trying to get this here. It's pretty tricky. These rocks pretty easy to climb. I messed this one up here. But you cannot make it all the way to that island. So you're gonna see a splice here. So what I do here, I do some Deku jumps there to aggro that gooey. And then I jump and get damage at the same time, and that gives me just enough momentum to get to the next island.
Oh man, I can see how that would take a long time.
Now we gotta do it twice.
Of course you do.
So you can definitely see the rest of them you can reach. Most of them are pretty easy. There is one that's, I'm not sure if it's pixel perfect or 2 pixel perfect. That next one that's coming up here, that's another very hard one to make. But you can just make it with like an almost pixel perfect angle. And you'll see another splice here, just cutting out the times that I messed up. And you can see it took me a while. It's already nighttime. Or almost nighttime. That one's pretty easy to get to, and the next one's pretty easy to get to, even though I messed it up. So I was pretty excited when I got here. So this was about a week and a half into starting recording. So this is very different than any sort of casual gameplay. It's even before we get Song of Healing and even before we get Deku Mask, we already have Zora Cape Owl, Song of Soaring, Milk Road Owl, and Southern Swamp Owl.
No, they totally intended it to be played this way. Everyone's been playing it wrong up to this point.
I guess that's true, yeah. ZFG, thank you for the side raid, by the way. Also, congratulations on your 412 yesterday. That was really fun to watch live. And awesome job with commentary over All Dungeons, No Doors. That was a lot of fun to watch, too. Been a great couple of days for Zelda speedruns.
Those long Majora's Mask cutscenes.
Yeah, this is the rough part of Majora's Mask, is talking to the Happy Mask salesman, all that fun stuff there.
That's the same with the N64 one also. All the first 30 minutes, or whatever it may be, of the speedruns are always through that first cycle, all of that.
Yep.
And then the fun happens.
Yeah, this is where the run really takes off. This is where you're going to see some pretty interesting things. Obviously the hardest part was that first segment, to be honest, but it's also the most boring segment. Did you mash B during that cutscene? No. I just put my 3DS down. So we still have not done any equips yet. In our inventory we have Deku Mask. It makes the text during that cutscene go faster, but it doesn't make the cutscene go faster, that's the thing. So now we have Bobs. And you guys might see the pattern of what our first equip will be here. Another thing that we're going to need here is the Scarecrow song.
That Scarecrow song is too simple. GG.
Reset?
Yep.
Alright. I'm not sure, Luxray. It might. I do want to emphasize, though, that this is low optimized. This isn't, you know, going to be the fastest you're ever going to see this done. Another thing that I want to point out is that 4 equips is the lowest amount of equips that we can do in this run. Or in this game here. And there's a few triggers in here that just kind of make it a little bit frustrating. And the biggest frustrating one, and maybe this is going into a little bit of spoilers here, to fight Twin Mold in the 3DS version, you actually need to equip and use the Giant's Mask. So theoretically, we might be able to bring it down to 3 pauses if we didn't have to do the Giant's Mask. But unfortunately, in the 3DS version, you do need the Giant's Mask to beat Twin Mold.
So Bob, piece of Zelda trivia.
Okay.
Which cutscene is longer? This guy walking up onto shore, or the guy in Ocarina that goes sliding over?
In N64, him walking is slower.
Mm-hmm.
In Majora's Mask 3D, they shortened it.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That is nice.
The best change they've ever made to the 3DS version. So MM3D is the master race. Check this out. Look at the skip right here.
Oh man, that's so much faster.
Look at that splice right there.
Nice. I love it.
They just spliced the footage of him walking over there.
Oh, that is so much better.
I accidentally talked to him. You don't have to talk to him.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. So, before our first equip, we now have Deku Mask, Song of Soaring, Southern Swamp Owl, Milk Road Owl, Zora Cape Owl, Bombs, and Zora Mask and Deku Mask.
Very nice.
Eric, thank you for the follow.
Rock on!
Now we get to meet the Zora band that we'll never actually talk to. That's the only time you'll see those guys in this run here. What about the credits?
Did we see him in the credits, Bob?
Oh, you know what? Actually, no, because I cut off the credits before we get there. So no, you won't see him in the credits.
Oh, that's disappointing. Reset.
Reset. Alright, here comes our first equip. Bombs, Deku, Zora. And I wasn't sure which mask I wanted where, so that seemed like a good place to put them. So, the worst change that they made in Majora's Mask 3D is the Zora swimming.
So what's different about it?
To swim fast, it drains your magic.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it sucks. I had a really hard time with this ladder.
Sometimes, the ladders fight back.
Yeah, they do.
It's the little things that really get you.
So I think you guys can guess where we're going now. We're going to go over to Pirate's Fortress. They have a pretty cool item over there. One that we are absolutely going to need in order to finish this game in only 4 equips.
Hey, the good news is you remembered which one you gotta hit.
Yeah. Another thing that they changed in this version is the pirate guards actually have better eyesight. So if you've seen the N64 any percent or any of the N64 speedruns and how they just kind of float over the water past them, it doesn't work in this version. These guys will catch you. But we have a much easier way of getting across this. So one major difference to point out here is we don't have infinite sword glitch in Majora's Mask 3D or Ocarina of Time 3D. Another pause buffer here, it doesn't count against our equips. But what we did there is, that's called a mask jump. And basically what happens, the reason why I had to do that home buffer is because I had a series of 2 frame perfect inputs, both of which I could register at the same time with that pause buffer there. But what you do is when you're in midair, you can press the B button to do an attack, and then on the very next frame, unequip the mask that you have equipped. In this case it was the Zora mask. And that will teleport Link. He'll try to do an attack and take off his mask at the same time, and that will teleport Link on top of an edge like that. And you'll see that maybe once or twice more in this run here, to cross major gaps that you normally can't cross just with a bomb jump. Another thing to point out is, well, actually, here's something interesting. Here's a cutscene that you don't normally see. Unfortunately, there is a way to skip it. We just can't do it in full equip. Actually, we probably could had I equipped a bottle earlier, but
Look out for the bees.
yeah, seriously. But we don't have a bottle equipped, so we weren't able to skip this cutscene. Normally, you can just do a time stop to skip this cutscene, but we don't have a bottle. It's okay, Legend of Zelda LF. Sometimes being wrong on the internet is the worst thing that you can do. But we forgive you here.
I don't know what you're talking about. No one's ever been wrong on the internet ever.
Yeah.
Everything on the internet that people say is true. No, I do not speedrun. I dabbled with Ocarina of Time a little bit, but I'm a grad student. I don't have that kind of time to put into learning the different tricks and everything. So I just enjoy watching speedruns.
How many times have I missed the beehive and get caught? 0. Yeah, after the 4th equip, you can't equip again. Another interesting thing that I should actually point out here that was kind of frustrating about recording this was I actually messed up. I had almost all the footage recorded, but I messed up my 4th equip and then I saved. So I actually had to go back 2 days before I finished filming this and re-record everything past getting the Zora mask, which kind of sucked. So this is actually a different save file than the first one that I had going.
And we gotta get on that task for 3DS.
Yeah, seriously. So here's another necessary item coming up here. We're gonna need to get a bottle.
The great thing about Zelda is you've got all these magical potions and, you know, these mythical swords. Strongest item in the game is always the bottle.
Yeah. So the thing about glitchless, Cody, is that even though you're not learning the glitches, you're still learning crazy bomb jumps. And you're still learning
Well, there's the. I mean, I dabbled with it. You know, I tried to see how fast I could do it, but you know, playing casually, I didn't ever get into any real routes or speed runs. But when you look at the guys playing glitchless, I mean, that's one of the more difficult categories. You see, like runner guy running it, and I mean, his sum of best is like what, maybe 1 or 2 minutes ahead of his actual PB. I mean, for a route that long, that's incredible. I don't know it. I, you know, for a while I did have fun just trying to play Majora. You know, I played Majora's Mask and saw how fast I could beat it, but without actually knowing how the route worked. But never actually speedrun it.
So having Zora Mask there lets us skip boat cruise. And you gotta be very careful here. Actually, this poison water can kill Zora Link very quickly, so you need to get to land pretty fast in order not to die. I don't have any Discord links going up right now. Plax Real Gamer. It's just me and my brother sitting in front of a microphone right now. Zelda speedruns us down.
I've never heard that before.
Huh.
That Zelda speed, it never goes down.
Yeah, seriously. I don't have a Discord server going right now, Plex Real Gamer. It's just my brother and I sitting in front of a microphone. So to get to the Sonata, pretty easy. These guards are pretty blind. How's it going, Glank? I like your ZFG or your Franker Z.
Franker Z, ZFG, what?
Yeah. So, backflip onto that ledge there, backflip onto that Deku Flower. And now you can skip getting all the magic beans and everything else that's required for getting to Sonata in a casual playthrough.
Because he's hacking the server to say he has all the world records in every category in every game.
Yeah. Yeah, ZFG is a decent player.
Yeah, he's pretty good at some of these games.
Welcome to the stream, Kiss My Bass. So, at this portion here, there is a way to do Zora long jumps to skip these flowers here. Unfortunately, I don't have enough health to do it. So, like I said, low optimized, just going to use the Deku flowers to get over the Woodfall here. These bugs over here are ugly trolls. I did take a moment to get them out of my way.
It looks like he more got you out of his way.
Yeah, seriously. Was there a splice there? I don't think there was a splice there. So, things are pretty easy from here. Yeah. Get over to Woodfall. Open it up. And I noticed right here that there was one more thing that I wanted to do. It's completely unnecessary, but it just made things a little bit earlier, or a little bit easier later on in the run. So I'm going to come back to Woodfall here in just a little bit.
Oh, you don't have to hit them with your sword anymore?
Nope, you can just target them.
Oh.
And I'm sure you guys can figure out what I'm doing here. If you're familiar with Majora's Mask.
You trying to stop the robber?
Exactly.
Oh. You got that sword ready for it.
Oh, yeah.
Rip the dream.
It wasn't ready for me.
Nope.
So, I'm getting items that you're never going to see me equip here. Never going to equip the Blast Mask. But saving this lady triggers being able to buy the bigger bomb bag at the bomb shop. And I'm going to want to do that later. Just so I have some cushion in my bomb count later on when I get to Stone Tower Temple. Way to wreck the pyramid there, guys.
Yeah, guys, I was real excited.
So there's a little seam right here that you can get past that ice and get to Mountain Village early. That was one of the very first things discovered in Majora's Mask 3D. I think the very first speedrun of this actually had that in there. That was discovered before Wrong Warps. Another interesting thing to point out is they kind of patched this here, where before you'd be able to use Deku Link to backflip over those snowballs. Oh, by the way, movement here sucks. It's always been awkward. Yeah. Like, that's the most awkward place to do. We do some Wrong Warps, Dark Link. There will be Wrong Warps in this. So, come over here, Mountain Village Owl. And that's all we need to do while we're here. So you may be asking, are we going to get the Goron Mask? And spoiler alert, no Goron Mask in this route.
Ah, rip.
Yep. Which brings up something interesting. One thing that, if you're familiar with Majora's Mask 3D speedruns, we have a new technique called Goron Missile.
I love that name.
It's so cool. Goron Missile's a lot of fun. It's finicky, it's tricky, but it's fun. However, we cannot use any Goron missiles in this run. First off, it would take an extra equip to get the Goron Mask. And second off, to do a Goron missile, you have to do a restricted item glitch. And that involves going into the item subscreen to change around your equips. So every time we would do a Goron missile, it would count against our equips.
Okay.
So here's a pretty interesting long jump here. Usually we'd have to have the hookshot equipped for this. This is relatively new, like the last couple of weeks. By having the Zora mask equipped there, you get just enough height that you can jump into that ledge there, skipping most of the Woodfall Temple.
Very nice.
You gotta be careful of his flames. When you're a Zora Link, his flames will automatically kill you after you restart that fight. Mega Luxray said that there's a new method for Goron Missile. What is this new method for Goron Missile? I've not heard of it yet. So here comes our second equip. And this is going to show off a technique that was used for a little bit in any percent. It was a really cool technique that had a lot of uses, but Goron Missile completely overtook it.
You got bombs. What's equipped? I missed it.
So bombs, hookshot, Zora Mask, bottle.
So that's equip number 2. Right?
Yep, that's our second equip here.
Alright.
So set up, have the hookshot out, you get a precise angle there. You're going to see a splice here just from messing up a little bit. Or actually, you already did the splice. By shielding continuous damage, you can go into first-person mode, and this gives the hookshot some weird properties. So basically, every time you shoot the hookshot in first-person mode, it adds another chain link to the last time that you shot the hookshot, and that includes allowing it to pass through collisions, such as walls and floors and doors. And then what you do is you go to something that you hookshotable actor, and on the same frame that you release L, you release hookshot, and you go flying off, and you will take off to wherever the hookshot ended. And in this case, with the angle that we set up, it was right behind the boss door.
Very nice.
Now, you might notice that my equips are kind of weird to fight Adalawa.
A little bit.
Don't have Deku Mask, and I don't have the bow. But what I learned is that you can kill Adalawa as Zora Link. It's not optimal, and you're gonna see that it took me a little bit to kill him here. There's a certain rhythm that you can get into, and it took me a little bit to get into it. But using the Zora Fins, you can damage him from behind, and you gotta have to wait for certain triggers and certain attacks that he does to get him with them. So this boss fight's going to take a little bit here. No doors in Majora's Mask would be possible if we had a way of getting to the bow without going through the door. Unfortunately, that's just not possible right now. Is there another way? I'm unfamiliar with that then. Like, I'm just going to emphasize again that this is low optimized. But one thing you're going to notice here is that there's going to be kind of a theme to the bosses to not have the optimized items equipped to beat them. And I think it's here that I really started getting the rhythm to kill him quicker.
Very nice.
Yeah, we're getting it here. The camera in Majora's Mask is kind of finicky. And there we go, that was a good rhythm. And there's a Dalawa.
Very nice.
So now we got a little bit of a long cutscene here. Unfortunately, in Majora's Mask 3D, we can't reset the game like they do in N64 with these cutscenes. So unfortunately, we do actually have to sit through and watch all of these cutscenes here.
Rip.
And even in N64, you do need to watch one of them. Usually they do it after, I think it was Goat or Great Bay Temple, I don't remember. I think it was Great Bay Temple, yeah. Because we're going to need to get the song that he plays here in order to beat Majora later on, which is the Oath to Order. Yeah, you're right, it is Great Bay on N64. But unfortunately in 3D we do have to watch these cutscenes. That includes this lengthy Tattle Talk.
Can't remember, is Tattle the sister or the brother?
Brother, I think. I don't know. Was I just wrong on the internet?
No, no one's ever been wrong on the internet.
Alright,
We've been through this.
So now that we had like 10 minutes of fun, we have to sit through a 3-minute long cutscene.
Cutscenes.
I made a mistake here. Forgot that you have to do Song of Soaring outside of the temple.
Reset.
Yeah. Alright, so this is where you're going to see the next instance of a lot of splicing. And I'm just going to say you're welcome. Because there is a wrong warp to goat, however, we can't do it in 4 equip.
Why not?
The way that it's routed, we need to, we would be able to get to the wrong warp, but we would not have Zora Mask equipped. We actually are not able to do wrong warps until our 4th equip. And on our 4th equip, we're not going to have Zora Mask. So that's a little bit of a spoiler for later on. And you need to have the Zora Mask equipped to beat Gjord. So we need to get to Great Bay Temple. Actually, Luxray, we're not able to do the wrong warps until the 4th equip, unfortunately. There's only 3 places to get hot spring water. One of them requires a Gibdo mask equipped, which is not a good equip, and a couple other items equipped actually. One of them is to do it in the Goron grave area. But you need to have the Goron mask equipped, and the other one is the grotto. This is actually not Fox's route. There were a few holes in Fox's route. A lot of this is based off of Fox's route. However, I did have to go in here and tweak a few things to actually get around that. So unfortunately, there is no Gjord wrong warp. So we have 1 bottle equipped, and we have 7 eggs to collect.
Oh no.
So I did some video editing here. I spliced out a lot of the boring stuff, so... no, unfortunately, even with going back to it, Luxray, even with the new route that he had, there were still holes in it. So it's just minor routing issues. So this is where you're going to start seeing some splicing here. I'm not going to keep the footage in of me going back and forth from Pirate's Fortress and Pinnacle Rock. How boring would that be? There's no way of making that exciting either. So, I'm pretty happy with the way that I spliced this footage here.
Hold on. Anything in the world is exciting if you do it as an 80s music montage.
That's a good point.
Alright,
Yeah.
I had the tiger, you're ready to go.
So there we go. That's how I'm going to splice these here. When I leave the Lakeside Laboratory, it's just going to teleport us to where we want to go. That's not in-game, that is video editing. I'm not trying to hide that at all. But yeah, the original equips that we had on the original route did not work out for a Gjord Wrong Warp. Unfortunately, there is actually no way to do a Gjord Wrong Warp in 4 equip. We would have to do 5 equips to do a Gjord Wrong Warp. But as you can see, I sped up the footage as much as possible without leaving out too much. When you're seeing the splices, you're not seeing any funny business, nothing's going on. It's just me traveling back and forth from Lakeside Laboratory to Pinnacle Rock and Pirate's Fortress. And we're able to skip 3 of the pirate fights by entering areas in ways that you're not supposed to. For example, this one right here. Oh, excuse me, 2 of the pirate fights. Oops. However, there's one pirate fight. It is possible to skip it, but you have to use Goron Missile for it. So unfortunately, we do have one pirate fight that we do need to do in this route here. Not the best fight.
These pirates used to always play.
I got a little bit of an interesting glitch here. It's nothing crazy. I had never seen this before though, so I kind of wanted to point it out. That right there, you got the Navi text on the top of the screen instead of the bottom of the screen. If you target something above you right before Navi does that text, right, or before Navi's text, her text box will go to the top of the screen instead of the bottom of the screen.
I want to see a run category based on that.
You can run it. Naruto, thank you for the host. Oh wait, there's a... So Pinnacle Rock. We only got 3 more eggs to grab here. I did show me going to Pinnacle Rock for the first time. But you're not going to see this again. So pretty easy from here. There's, I think, 7 or 8 of these eels in here. 3 of them have eggs that they're guarding. Just gotta kill off 3 of them and it's good to go. Here's the first one. You did it.
Victory is mine! Chat, how are you gonna let Kappa Pyramid get past you?
I think that's actually the first time I've seen a Kappa Pyramid actually happen in chat.
Yeah?
Yeah?
It's a tough job, but someone's gotta do it. I'm
Yeah.
glad I could bring the real skill to the stream.
Yeah, thank you. Too late, Naruto. Alright, boring part's almost done here. after this, we actually have some pretty cool tricks coming up. The point is you made an effort.
You know, A for effort. I mean, F for execution, but A for F. You know.
Alright, and this is the last Zora egg that we need to collect here. After the Zora egg, after the Zora egg and a couple cutscenes, the run takes off again. So, I hope everyone grabs snacks at this time here. This was a pretty good snack break. I should have warned you guys ahead of time.
Yeah, come on, what's wrong with you?
Oh, I'm sorry. That is my brother.
Hello.
Yeah, my brother came over for some commentary. He's never really dabbled with Majora's Mask 3D before, so he's actually learning some of these glitches at the same, for the first time here.
Yep, I'm just here for commentary and extra memes.
So cutting out going back and forth between Pirate's Fortress and Pinnacle Rock probably saved about 20 minutes of footage.
Yeah, that was probably a good call. That guy, that scientist, he just can't handle it. He's completely bamboozled.
Oh yeah, he's really excited.
Apparently, I am now also Naruto Kid's brother.
Yeah, you are. Naruto.
How do you say it?
Naruto?
What did I say?
Naruto? You said something weird.
Wait, tell me that difference again.
You said like Naruto or something like that?
I said Naruto.
Oh, Naruto? Okay, never mind, you're good. Is Lotad a public tool? Yeah, tool-assisted, any sort of tool-assisted is a public tool, I believe. Unfortunately, we just don't have it for the 3DS. It works for N64, it works for a whole bunch of different consoles. But no, people are working on it, but we don't have a way of doing it for the 3DS yet. How does tool-assisted speedruns work? So that's a good question. It's not actually a computer running the game. Basically what happens is that someone is playing the game and they have their inputs they use a computer to help them slow down frame by frame the gameplay so that they can do frame perfect inputs easily. They'll have save states, they'll have RNG manipulation, they'll have all sorts of scripts that they can put into it. So actually when you're watching a task, you are watching a person play, but they're slowing it down through a computer, and they're using all sorts of different tools to help them achieve perfection. Yeah, I know there's a way to skip this cutscene. Majora's Mask No Doors Run. I'm not sure if it would be possible on the N64. I don't think it's possible on the 3DS unless we have a way of skipping 2 of the doors in Woodfall Temple. I could be wrong, I haven't really thought about it too much. It might be possible, I'm just not sure though. I can't think of a way off the top of my head.
What about all doors, no items?
All doors, no items.
Yep. I'm just saying words at this
Yeah. We do have extended hookshot, but what happens when you enter a room without opening a door is that anything in the room is unloaded. So you would be able to get into the room that has the bow. So off the top of my head, there's the room with the bow and the room with the light arrows, and those are two things that you absolutely need. And getting into those rooms without actually opening the door to get into those rooms are not going to load they'll load the collision in that room, but they won't load the treasure chest or the boss fights in those rooms.
Does the item loading and actor loading work similarly to the N64 versions in that sense?
Yes.
So that's how you were able to hookshot into the loading zone, that sort of thing? Okay.
Here's another cool boss key skip, actually. We just walked right into Great Bay Temple. When is low percent? Never. Low percent skips Song of Soaring. I don't think anyone wants to see that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it skips Song of Soaring and Goron Mask. So it's just backwalking across Hyrule or Termina Field. So here's another pretty interesting cutscene or boss key skip. Once again, using extended hookshot. Now the thing is with extended hookshot, your camera is right at Link's eyeballs. So when Link moves his head, your camera angle changes to where Link's eyes are looking. So it's kind of finicky to get aiming with that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Skip the whole thing.
Now, I'm going to point something out here. Fighting Gjord with a hookshot and no bow sucks.
Yeah.
It is not a fun time. In the N64, it's much easier, but in this version, the way that they changed the boss is aiming for him is really tricky. Because you can only hit him when he's close enough, and you have to like lead ahead. So you can... It's just really tricky to hit him. This is why I don't play Call of Duty. So, bear with me, this boss fight's gonna be a little bit slow. I actually did not use that in my No Wrong Warp PP. I never even practiced No Wrong Warp. I didn't even know what I was doing when I did the No Wrong Warp speedrun. Yeah, this fight, it really sucks. Oh, on N64? We can try, but they messed up the camera quite a lot in the 3DS version. So it makes it a lot trickier. Now, here's where I'm going for here. He jumps out of the water much quicker in this version, too. Yeah, no Wrong Warp world record is something that could be taken with a good run. Here's the thing with all masks and no Wrong Warp. We're just getting the routes for those now that we have Goron Missile. And I'm sure Iwabi will go back and redo those with Goron Missile. Ocarina of Time, no Wrong Warp would be so easy. It's actually the same amount, Practical Gamer. So you have to hit him just as many times with the hookshot as you do with the bow. Yeah, I didn't know either until I did this here. And there we go, that segment's done. The rest of it is pretty easy. Just kind of fight him normally with the Zora mask. And I will go back to something that I said earlier, it is possible to beat him without the Zora mask, but then you need the light arrows. And, you know, you're kind of just on a trade-off. Equip the Zora mask or the light arrow, or the ice arrows. And either way, to do the wrong warp, we'd have to have one of those two equipped, and it would still bring the equip count up to 5.
Well, this boss fight changed a lot. Originally.
Yes, it did. Yeah, I meant to say ice arrows. And this part here can really troll you. Like, you can have some really good runs going, and he might just not be close enough to any of these explosives, and you have to wait for a cycle for him to move.
I really don't like the giant eyeball in this throw. I'm not a fan.
Oh, those giant eyeballs are in all the bosses now, too.
Yeah.
So the question is, what happens if he eats Link and the bomb on the same frame? I don't know, and I don't know if it's ever been performed or ever been accomplished. No wrong warp, and Majora's Mask 3D is actually a pretty cool category. It's pretty underrated.
I do not like the way these giants are designed. Their face is entirely too close to their ass.
No, I've not done no wrong warp in Ocarina of Time 3D. You know, if in Ocarina of Time 3D, if you were to do no wrong warp, I think the more interesting category would be no wrong warp, no item manipulation, which would basically be beat the first 3 child dungeons, get the Master Sword, Shadow Temple early, Spirit Temple early, Light Arrow cutscene, Ganondorf, Ganon. However, I'm going to say that, like I said before, this is my very first low optimized segmented demonstration. I'm not going to announce today what I've been working on. However, if you guys like this, I'm working on some, I would say, much more interesting and much harder runs that involve Ocarina of Time 3D. And here I go, I got the bigger bomb bag, just to give myself a little bit more cushion for Stone Tower Temple, just because you have to use a lot of bombs there. It's not necessary to have 30 bombs, but it just made it easier later on. Yeah, routing that out would be Like, I could write up a paste bin for what that route would be. There would be a way to RBA, you know, just like the old any % route for Ocarina of Time, where you beat the 3 child dungeons and then you RBA. So you basically you put the Shadow Medallion and the Spirit Medallion into your inventory, and then you would get the Light Arrow cutscenes without ever having to do Spirit Temple or Shadow Temple. So yeah, that is possible in the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time. But here's a cool glitch coming up here. I need to get over that fence. I don't have Epona. I don't have Goron Mask. What I did here, I just did an action swap where it's kind of hard to explain an action swap, but basically what happened is I've got my hookshot in hand and I have a ground jump stored. I use a ground jump, jump slash, and then I get recoil from that Deku, or from that bubble there, and that gives me just enough momentum to get over that fence. So basically it's a triple jump. From here, pretty simple. I'm going to summon the Scarecrow. And then you're going to see a little splice right here. It's just because I got trolled by a bubble, and I had to kill him. So I just took it out of the footage. It was kind of embarrassing. You can RBA the Light Arrow, but you won't be able to use it. And then from here, I need to get up onto that cannon, that canyon up there. So Zora Link can backflip onto this rock. And then from this rock, right on top of this canyon here is a save statue.
Oh, jeez.
You can just save and quit. And like I said, home buffers and save and quit does not count against our equip count. All that we're counting is the amount of times that we re-equip items. So that did not count against our equips there. So we're still only at 2 equips. Yeah, I did have a splice back there. This is probably my favorite portion of this run here, just because there's, you know, it's just kind of glitch heavy. It's, you know, when you really think about Stone Tower Temple, you know, the temple is designed to use all the items that you have collected so far at the end of the run. You know, we've only beaten 2 bosses so far. We don't have ice arrows. We don't have, the only things that we can use are a bottle, bombs, hookshot, and Zora Mask, and we're going to go do the first half of Stone Tower Temple. Zora long jump here.
Sorry. Did you even get the bow?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yep. So, Zora long jump to skip over that ice arrow trigger there. And then we can just hookshot up here like normal. And before we go to Stone Tower Temple, there's one more thing that we're going to want. And if you are unfamiliar with Majora's Mask 3D speedruns, we are going to be getting the most broken item in the game here.
It's not the bottle?
Kind of. So, chat brought up Goron Missile. Goron Missile requires you to do equip. And also getting the Goron Mask requires 2 equips. So to do 1 Goron Missile would require 3 equips. So, unfortunately, no Goron Missiles in this run. We don't even get the Goron Mask. Spoiler alert. So what we do here is we can do a hookshot clip off that Gibdo into the music shop house. From down here, we just go over here, and we're gonna get the Gibdo Mask from this guy, and the Gibdo Mask is the most broken item in this game.
Really?
Yep.
I can't wait to see why.
Yeah, that is a pretty easy hookshot clip, to be honest. The hardest part about it is lining up the Gibdo to the side of the house that you want. And unfortunately I just had a bad cycle, so I had to wait a little bit for him to get there. So now we have the Gibdo Mask. So yeah, there was another splice there. All that I did there was segmented the run there. You don't need to be going to go up that ramp there. You can just roll up it. I think you can even just walk up it. Yeah, no, not a bug with the capture card. Yeah, I'm not hiding the fact that I spliced the footage here. Unfortunately, since we don't have tasks, this is the best that we can do. Or at least that I can do. And you'll see another splice right here, just cutting out some of the bad footage. Once again, going into first-person mode. Take out the hookshot. And you can probably imagine what I'm trying to accomplish here. So doing that, we're allowed to skip the Elegy of Emptiness and the Mirror Shield.
Oh, jeez.
So ZFG didn't do the task, he hosted the task. It was the No Doors cult. I forgot what they were actually called. So from here we're going to want to damage down. Link can beat Stone Tower Temple without the Elegy of Emptiness to do this puzzle, but he's going to have to die. Yep, we got old strats in here. Things that you don't see in Majora's Mask 30 speedruns anymore. Ground Missile works in N64, it's just not really viable at the moment. They don't have a way of setting it up like we do in MM3D. So this trick is pretty easy actually. Just get damaged right as you push the block. Wedge yourself between it and you can go through that gate. That skips using the Elegy of Emptiness, which we never got in the run. to make it to the next portion here. From here, this was actually a little tricky. It wasn't bad. You're gonna see one quick splice right here just because I messed something up. This is gonna be our second example of a mask jump. One thing to point out with Link's momentum when he's jumping is the momentum that he has when he's jumping is the same speed that he has when he leaves the platform. So when you put a bomb down, that's why he gets such a much longer jump there. How do you mask jump? So a mask jump is a series of 2-frame perfect inputs. Well, not really 2-frame perfect inputs, it's... What you do is when you're in the middle of the air, on the first frame you press B to attack, and on the second frame, the immediate next frame after that, you unequip the mask that you have, and it teleports Link on top of whatever collision is up here. One thing I'm going to point out is I hate this switch right here. I can never get it. So I just do noob strats. I just long jump to it.
What a noob.
Yeah. I'm very disappointed in myself for having to do that.
You should be. You're the worst.
I am.
Reset. They will be beating Stone Tower Temple with only hookshot.
Yeah, seriously. So here's another example of an extended hookshot. These little fuzzballs can really be a troll and mess up your first-person glitch.
Oh man, that's awful.
Yeah, if you take any damage in first-person mode, you'll be knocked out of it. So right there, we're able to hookshot through the wall there to a box that allows us to skip having the mirror shield to get past that block there. Also, this skips letting us equip the Deku mask. We can just extend a hookshot over to that chest right there. So that's a technique called extended hookshot. The best way to learn how to do it would be to go to zeldaspeedruns.com.
If it's up.
If it's up, yeah. Let's see if they are up, actually.
Oh yeah.
Incoming moon warp. I wish, man. I do wish.
I have the secret to the moon warp, but I will only divulge it for $10,000 in unmarked small bills, non-sequential serial numbers.
And now we have the light arrows. So I guess you guys can expect, or can predict what we're going to put into our next equip. Spoiler warning, we need the light arrows to invert Stone Tower Temple. So light arrows will be on the next equip. But before we do that, we have something to accomplish in Clocktown. Southern guy, you do hear Bill.
Can confirm, am Bill.
And real quick, we're just going to grab this owl here. The only reason why we grab this owl is just so we don't have to climb Stone Tower Temple again. So here's why we go to Clocktown. We need to go to the Curiosity Shop.
Okay, so why do we have to go to the Curiosity Shop?
There is a certain glitch we can do in the Curiosity Shop. And I'll try to explain this as we go here.
Spaghetti does equal math, can confirm.
So we're at night of the final day here. You can probably tell that we still have half the dungeons to beat, or 1.5 of the dungeons to beat. We never played the Song of Time. So we will beat both of the dungeons before the moon falls. So here's a pretty cool trick here. And once again, pause buffering just to get specific frames that we need. If you shield and bring up the item subscreen here, this is going to be our third equip here. You can tell that on the top for item subscreen number 1, we have a bottled fairy. And we're going to put the Gibdo mask over it. And what this is going to do is it is going to turn the Gibdo mask into a bottle. And this bottle has some really awesome properties that we can use in this run here.
You've got a Gibdo mask bottle.
Yep, the Gibdo mask is now a bottle. And we'll come back to that later on.
Gotta go fast.
Real quick before we go back into Stone Tower Temple, I do want to emphasize that this is low optimized. I kind of messed up the route a little bit here, so you're going to see some stupid mistakes that I just left in here for the lulz. Sounds like my mic is about to go out. Do you have any stuttering or anything like that? So here's something kind of cool, if you can hear me. There's an invisible seam right above that gate where the boss warp is. We can use this to jump over to that platform where that switch is, which skips half of Inverted Stone Tower Temple.
Link is floating.
Link is floating. We call this an invisible seam. where there's a seam of collision,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like he's just floating there.
Mm-hmm.
Does my mic sound alright to you guys? Does everything sound fine? So yeah, when I got to here, I realized that I forgot to grab the small key.
Sudoku.
So I decided to kill myself there. Did you just see a Sheikah symbol? Maybe. I'm not sure what it is, but... So yeah, using a precise jump slash, we can get up here without the Deku mask. And then we're going to want to spawn the small key chest here. This is a little embarrassing. I didn't remember how to get back up there, so took me a little bit of time, so sorry about that. And then from here, pretty simple. Get back up to where that small key door was. Moon's about to crash. Do we have enough time to beat the game? Stay tuned.
We'll find out after these messages!
Drink your Ovaltine. This guy, yeah, this guy's really easy to kill. 2 bombs does the trick. Looks a lot cooler and more difficult than it really is. You may notice that we don't have the boss key. Kind of a common thread here.
Yeah, there haven't been a lot of boss keys.
No. Getting boss keys is slow. So you can probably guess what trick we're going to use here.
Oh, you fucked it up.
I did. It's a very finicky trick. Welcome back, Legend of Zelda. And there we go. Extended hookshot to skip the boss key. So now we're in Twin Mold. Twin Mold fight in this version is kind of interesting. Yeah, very, very basic twin mold fight here. Really nothing special that you can see. Shoot the eyes on blue while avoiding red.
I really don't like those big googly eyes.
Yeah. Yes, Giant's Mask is required for the Twin Mold fight in the 3DS version. And if it was not required, theoretically we could bring this down to 3 equips. Unfortunately, the Nintendo gods wanted us to equip the Giant's Mask, and we don't have any way around it. After you beat Blue, Red won't spawn until you equip the Giant's Mask. Yeah, the boss battles are very different in this version here. Yep, that's the only time that you need this mask.
Look, they were real excited. They were like, look how cool this is. You get to be a giant. Everybody has to be a giant.
Yeah. Alrighty. Here's where the Giant's Mask spawns in the 3DS version. It actually spawns right in the middle of the fight.
That's weird.
Yep.
Oh, I'm new here.
So here's our fourth equip. We have the Gibdo Mask, which is a bottle, on item subscreen 1. We have light arrows on X, a stick on Y, and giant mask on 2.
Did you say a stick?
A stick.
Great.
Yeah, they changed the location of the giant mask and the stone mask. They actually put the stone mask, I like where they put the stone mask. They put it in Pirate's Fortress.
Mario 64 much?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's entertaining to watch. I just don't like having to equip it. I wish I could just kill Red with arrows.
I think this is one of the only times I've seen Link's roll attack actually used as an attack.
Yeah. I actually came really close to dying in this fight here.
Well, you should do good.
Yeah. Keeping track of your magic is important in this fight. Giant's Mask does use magic at all times that you have it equipped, so it's pretty easy to run out of magic here. Look at this here. I came really close to dying, and I didn't even notice when I was playing.
Oh, you're at a half heart.
I'm at a quarter heart here.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, Southern Guy, you're right. He just seems to like spin him around and then get him dizzy and then stop spinning.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you watch a 5-year-old wind up a punch, or wind up throwing a football or something like that.
Or in Liam's case, wind up throwing a high five.
Yeah.
It's like they just wind up for a while and then stop.
Loosens up the arm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's stretching.
Yeah. But yeah, we are on our fourth equip. Now we have to finish the game with only Gibdo Mask, which is a bottle, light arrows, stick, and giant mask. And to give you guys an idea, we've never gotten Goron Lullaby. We don't even have the Goron Mask. So we need to beat Stone Tower Temple. Without any of those items.
Stone. Oh no. Yeah, this is Stone Tower Temple.
Excuse me. What's the other one? Snowhead Temple.
There we go. Yeah, I was blanking on it too.
In an optimized run, would you skip the heart containers? Yes. Snowhead, yes, I mean Snowhead.
Help our friendo. Look at my mustache.
Yeah, in an optimized run, we would skip the heart containers. In a low optimized run, we wouldn't. And here's something to note. Like I said before, using the wrong items or unoptimized items on bosses is kind of a theme of this run here. Really think of Goat. You know, the boss from the mechanical goat in Snowhead Temple, and how you chase him around with a Goron mask. We don't have Goron mask. The other thing to note too is beating him without Goron mask doesn't work the same way in this game as it does in N64. He doesn't just stop at the end of a hallway.
He keeps shoot a bunch of arrows at him.
Nope, he keeps on running. And also...
Wait, isn't he in a big ice thing that you have to shoot with the fire arrow?
Yes.
We don't have fire arrows.
No, we don't.
Okay. I'm interested to see how we're getting around that one. Because that was a thing in the original Majora's Mask 2 pause where they had to do a special thing where the light arrows were fire arrows for a few seconds just so they could shoot Go.
Yep. We don't have that.
Yeah,
we don't have that glitch in here. However, you'll see me do something here.
Okay.
Light arrows are stronger than fire arrows in some aspects, but they don't melt Go.
Remember, he's in that giant thing of ice? Tingle!
Yeah, we gotta talk to Cinco for a second.
Tingle, tingle, kurulipa! That's right, I know his magic words. What about it?
Decided that I didn't want any maps here. I need to get into that grotto.
What?
I used a stick to shoot an arrow that was on fire.
Did you just, like, take the arrow and rub it on the stick for a while till it heated up and caught fire?
Yeah.
Okay. So seriously, how does that work?
Okay, so that is called an action swap, and basically the way that action swap works is you cancel out switching from, in this case, you go from, you have your bow in hand, and you equip the Deku stick. But right before he does the animation to take out the Deku stick, you cancel that animation by talking to an actor, in this case Tingle, or you do something to interrupt the action. So what happens from there is, when I bring up the bow the next time, so basically the inputs are, take out bow, aim it where you want it to go, hold down L, and hold down the arrow button, hold down the button that your stick is on, release your arrow, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, when you do that action swap there, Link shoots an arrow that is on fire, not a fire arrow, but an arrow that is on fire from the Deku stick. Now, here's something interesting. I just caught hot spring water in this bottle that used to be the Gibdo mask. And you got an error screen there. I kind of wish in the footage here that I showed it off. A lot of things in Clocktown have disappeared. I do a pause here. Like I said, this doesn't count against our equips. I just need to have tattled off at a certain point here. So we're going to go back to Clocktown here.
I am error.
And you barely got a glimpse of it there, but you may have noticed that the moon was not in the sky. Technically it is, but it's way up there. It's barely noticeable in the sky. It's like a little dot in the sky. So we're gonna go ahead to morning of the second day, negative 23 hours remaining.
Wait a minute. So what day is it?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the game thinks you're in the 9th day.
Why does it think it's the 9th day?
I don't know.
Okay.
I could be wrong though. This is this is called the 4th day wrong warp, but I think basically the way that the game, the day that you're in right now is actually the 9th day, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, and I could be wrong on that, so please don't crucify me.
No one's ever been wrong on the internet, Bob.
Oh yeah.
You're going to be the first one to be wrong on the internet.
If I am wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm right. I'm just kind of hoping that I'm right.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a nap in the postman's bed.
Yeah, like you do.
Yep. And dawn of a new day.
Okay. Okay. That's not what I expected.
No. And we're going to do another action swap here. So we're going to shoot another fire arrow out of the stick, or arrow on fire out of the stick, and melt the goat. Now, like I said before, there were many times that I spliced footage just to cut out some boring portions here. This fight actually took a long time. Because I don't have bombs, and I don't have Goron Mask. So I need him to run around this map a whole bunch of times, so I can pop maybe 1 or 2 arrows at him every time that he gets around.
So, explain to me how that wrong warp happened. How did you end up here when you were in the 9th day postman's bed?
I will do my best.
Okay.
So, basically the game runs at an on an internal timer from the time that you start up the game. And what happens is when you turn masks into bottles, actually all the masks, or most of the masks, have some sort of interesting property. When you catch hot spring, or when you turn them into bottles and catch hot spring water in them, because the game itself runs at an internal ticking timer from the time that you start up the game. And you have like certain intervals that you can catch the hot spring water for that trick to work. And hot spring water itself is on its own timer as well. So you're combining 2 timers basically, from the way that I understand this. You're combining 2 timers at the same time, which really messes up the values of the game. That's where it gets the 9th day wrong warp there. And then when a day transition happens, it goes to dawn of a new day. Don't know why. And based on the coordinates, based on where you are, when that happens, it will warp you to different places. For example, there's ways to warp to Gjord. There's ways to warp to the top of the Stone Tower Temple. Those are the most common wrong warps that you might see in a speedrun. In this case, we warp directly to Goat. And we've tried every combination possible. There's no way to warp to the moon, unfortunately. And sometimes the game will crash, depending on where you are. But yep. That's how I understand wrong warps in this game. They're very tricky. I actually understand wrong warps a lot better in Ocarina of Time than I do in Majora's Mask, and those are much harder to pull off. I don't really play much Majora's Mask 3D or Majora's Mask 64. I'm much more of an Ocarina of Time player, and this is probably going to be the last you're going to see me playing Majora's Mask for a long time, unless we discover some new significant glitches. But right now, like I said earlier, and I'm not going to spoil what I'm doing today, but I am working on some low optimized segments and demonstrations for Ocarina of Time 3D. And you're going to see some things in that have never really been done before, which I'm pretty excited to share, but those ones might take a little bit longer to make. Alright, my chat is being a little bit weird. Hold on.
Oh, is the chat not working? Is that why it hasn't moved in a while?
Might be. Otherwise, hey, someone try saying something in chat.
Goat Simulator 3D.
Alright, sweet. No, we're just inactive. Saying something. Thank you, Southern Guy. Thank you, Joey.
Doctor.
Dr. Joey. So, alrighty, that is the 4 bosses. All that's left is to beat Majora. And we don't have Zora Mask equipped to kill Majora. Sounds fun, right?
Oh, that seems fine.
I don't want to say how many times I had to reset the Majora fight. So, for the Majora fight, actually, surprisingly, without the Zora Mask, the first segment of the Majora fight is the hardest part.
Ice doesn't melt. The guy's still stuck there.
Oh, we wish.
Oh.
So, in this game, after doing a wrong walk, it teleports you back to dawn of the first day. So, that's why we have to Song of Double Time back to night of the third day.
That frog.
He's really happy to see us.
Yeah. You bonked.
I did bonk. I wasn't proud of that, but I bonked.
Everyone's gonna go bonkers.
Yeah.
Hey.
So we got this lengthy cutscene here. What, I think this cutscene's 4 minutes or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's annoying.
If you just moonwarped, then you wouldn't have to watch it.
That's true. I should really implement that into my runs.
Yeah. Here comes your friends with the mustaches. At least Dark Link appreciates my dad jokes.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you guys a warning, this was a pretty bad Majora fight. First cycle is really hard without, Zora Mask.
Mustache boyos are now frozen boyos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, 4-minute cutscene is over. Nothing really too surprising at the end of this run here. The only hard part is really beating Majora with the items that we have equipped here. First cycle is kind of annoying. It took me a few tries to get it, unfortunately, actually. There's very, very small windows of opportunity to attack Majora with just the bow. You have to shoot him with the bow after he turns around, and when he turns around, when you immediately go to shoot him, he will turn back around. He's programmed to do that. However, right when he starts his spinning animation, you'll have a brief window shortly after that to attack him, and for whatever reason, it just took me a long time to get into the rhythm of it. So Majora, it's going to go a little bit slow here, unfortunately, so I do apologize for that. You can see there, as soon as you try to attack him, he turns around. It's when he goes in for this attack that you have the opportunity, and you can see that it's pretty easy to miss it. You can still technically shoot him from here. That's even harder though. There we go. Deku sticks are going to do a little bit more damage. Yeah, you can see that it just turns around. But let's see if I got it here. I don't think I did. Yeah, I got a hit.
He's got a bunch of spaghetti on.
Yeah, he does. Hey, what's up, Wrath of God? Legend of Zelda LF, I did try that earlier. It was actually a little less optimal because he would get out of range. Or a few things. One, he would get out of range. Two, the sensitivity of the aiming. It would be the sensitivity of the aiming makes it even harder to get a good shot at him, unfortunately, even with the gyroscope aiming. So what I did here, I just got rid of the rest of the remains. Obviously, avoiding his beam attack, that would not be good if he hit me with that. Getting those guys out of the way so they don't really troll us too much anymore. And then just trying to finish up the rest of this Majora fight. Like I said, it does take a little while. This is the hardest part of the Majora fight, is to fight him without the Zora mask. And I think after this, it's only one more hit. After that, it goes pretty well. So yeah, that's Majora 1. Now we got Majora's Incarnation. Pretty easy to kill Majora's Incarnation. Shoot him with a bow, spin attacks, jump slashes. Nothing interesting about this right here. Oh, I messed up that cycle a little bit there. And then just Majora's Wrath. I tried to show off the Deku, or the Infinite Deku stick glitch a little bit here. Just for whatever reason, though, I was having a hard time getting the rhythm, so eventually I did switch back over to just hitting him with the sword.
Is Infinite Deku Stick like ISG?
No, actually. What you can do is, when you pull out a Deku Stick in Majora's Mask 3D, if you pull out the Ocarina after that, It'll make whatever he's. It'll make the Deku Stick. You can see that he's still wielding something here. It makes the Deku Stick look invisible. So you can hit him over and over again, and the Deku Stick that you have equipped won't break. Eventually, here I got the rhythm down.
Yeah.
There we go. I think this was a good section. I don't think that was killed that well. Unfortunately, Deku Link, or not Deku Link, regular Link's sword attack does virtually nothing to Majora, so it takes quite a bit of hits to kill him here. And sometimes that can happen. Almost got him here, guys. There we go. And that is Majora's Mask 3D in 4 equips. Unfortunately, at the moment, that is as low as we can go. If any new glitches are discovered to bring down that count, I will go back and make a new video, probably one with better video editing quality, since this is my first time ever doing it. And my first time ever making one of these. This was just kind of my test run into making more of these in the future. I do have some really cool things planned out from here. I will be continuing to do Master Quest 3D, all dungeon speedruns in the meantime. And on my free time, I'm actually in the working of some pretty cool optimized or low optimized segmented demonstrations of different challenge runs for Ocarina of Time 3D, which I'm really excited to debut. I'm just not going to announce them here today. But in the meantime, I will put you out to Brahmin masking at the final Majora fight.
I mean, where else would you Brahmin mask?
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, guys, thank you everyone for tuning in. ZFG, if you're still here, thank you for directing some viewers over to me here. I really appreciate that. Zelda Speedruns, thank you for the host. Thank you for putting us on the Zelda Speedruns page. I do want to give out some special shoutouts to a guy named the Wayfaring Fox. He came up with a significant portion of the run, or of the routing here, and then later on I just went back and tweaked it. He was the first one to really say, hey, maybe this could be done in 4 pauses. So big shout outs to him and everyone else on the Majora's Mask 3D Discord community. Also big shout outs to Gabby El Nuevo, Ben Stevens 56 or 1000 or whatever you want to call him, Full Grown Gaming, and a lot of other people who discovered a lot of these glitches over the years that really paved the way to getting Majora's Mask 3D as broken as it is today. So, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Stay tuned, I do have some other big projects in the way, probably going to be better quality by then as well. So, thank you again, everyone, and we'll talk to you.